How to survive a long flight when you have your period. Most people find long trips to be boring and uncomfortable. This is especially true if you are on your period and concerned about how you will handle changing feminine products during the flight. Thankfully, there is at least one restroom on board, and you can bring along various goods to make your travel as comfortable as possible. Part 1. Preparing for your flight. Think about selecting an aisle seat. If at all feasible, reserve an aisle seat. If you sit in the aisle, you won't have to bother any other passengers when you get up to use the restroom, which you will probably want to do every hour or so. Try not to become upset if you can't get an aisle seat. Yes, your neighbor will have to be asked each time you get up, and yes, they could become a little irritated. But keep in mind that you must do what must be done and that it is not your duty to maintain their happiness. Ask them politely whether they may stand up so that you can use the restroom. You won't encounter any problems if you are kind and considerate. Bring a lot of materials. Make sure you pack a lot of your preferred product. In addition to tampons or a menstrual cup, you should bring some panty liners, similar to pads but thinner. These will aid in containing any potential leaks. If you use a menstrual cup, you could consider bringing a spare. If not, pack 1 or 2 more tampons or pads than you anticipate using. Also, think about bringing a tiny bottle of hand sanitizer. Even though it's likely that the plane's restroom will contain soap and water, it's still a good idea to bring your own in case they run out. You may also bring a tiny bottle of hand cream. Since you'll need to wash your hands frequently while traveling, it's a good idea to have something to combat the drying effects of the airline soap. Bring a spare pair of pants. You could experience a feminine product malfunction and minor blood leakage into your clothes. If so, you'll be relieved to have a spare, spotless pair of pants on hand. If this occurs and you have a large plastic bag to store your trousers, you can wash your pants in the sink and put them in the bag. Rolling your old pants up so that the blood-stained portion is on the inside can allow you to put them in the bottom of your carry-on until you can find a location where you can properly wash and dry them if you don't have a large enough plastic bag. Put on relaxed clothing. Whether they are on their period or not, most people find long flights to be uncomfortable. While you don't have to look slobby, choose clothing that makes you feel at ease. Think about investing in a quality pair of black yoga pants or sweatpants to assist conceal any potential leaks. Always dress in layers. Although it might be challenging to forecast whether the plane will be warm or cold, most lengthy journeys tend to be on the chilly side. In many cases, it's a good idea to dress comfortably in a short-sleeved shirt in case it gets warm, and take a sweater or light-weight jacket for when it gets cold. In case of leaks, bring an extra set of underwear. Put on your clean underpants and wash your filthy ones in the sink if it does happen. To prevent them from getting any of your other items wet, put them in a plastic bag. Bring along a pair of warm, cozy socks to wear on the flight. If you intend to sleep, you can also consider bringing earplugs and a soft eye mask. Bring 1 or 2 plastic bags that seal. Having an additional sealable plastic bag on hand is a smart idea in case there isn't a trash can or if the trash can is overflowing. If so, you can use toilet paper to wrap your old feminine product before sealing it in a bag to be thrown away later. Having a plastic bag will give you another choice for getting rid of your spent products, even though this may not be ideal for everyone. You'll be glad you have these if you walk into the bathroom and realize there is nowhere else to put used products. This plastic bag may also come in helpful if you need to wash any blood out of your underwear. The damp, rinsed underwear can then be placed into the bag without having to worry about getting your other belongings wet. If packing your used products bag in your carry-on bag bothers you, you can put the plastic bag in the airsick bag, which is typically located in the seat pocket. Then, take the bag to the area where the flight attendants are stationed and ask them if they have a trash can where you can dispose of it. Put everything you need for your period in one bag. If you're self-conscious about others seeing your feminine hygiene items, you can put them in a tiny handbag. Considering how cramped airplane facilities are in general, bringing your entire carry-on is certainly out of the question. You can store all of your materials together in a bag so that you won't forget anything when you go to the bathroom. Alternatively, you could just carry them in your hand if you don't have them or don't want to bring a bag into the restroom. You shouldn't feel ashamed about getting your period because it's a common, natural occurrence. The majority of passengers on planes are too occupied sleeping, reading, watching movies, or working to pay any attention to what you are doing. Pack some moist towelettes. It can assist to keep you feeling clean and fresh to use a damp wipe to clean up down there. The market is flooded with feminine hygiene wipes, and many of them are individually wrapped so you only need to open one when you actually need it. Even while you should normally avoid using these items and instead use plain white toilet paper, it is acceptable to use one occasionally, especially if you are having a particularly messy period. Be gentle with the skin around your vagina when using a baby wipe, toilet paper, or paper towels that have been wet. Do not flush a wipe or a wet paper towel down the toilet after using them since they could cause clogs. Instead, place them in the appropriate trash container or seal them in your plastic bag so you may discard them later. A few painkillers should be in your carry-on bag. Take a pain reliever made to combat menstrual symptoms if you have cramps, back pain, or headaches because of your period. If you have cramps or a headache, it will make the flight much more painful for you. Ensure that you only consume the recommended amount. Part 2. Dealing with your period during the flight. Every few hours, use the restroom. It is advisable to check your pad every 2 to 4 hours to see if it has become soaked if you are wearing one. This is particularly valid if you are dealing with a strong flow. Tampons need to be replaced at least every 6 to 8 hours, so if you're using one and have a significant flow, you might want to check for leaks every 1 to 2 hours. To reduce your risk of developing toxic shock syndrome, it's crucial to wear tampons that are the appropriate absorbency for your flow. For example, only use high absorbency tampons on days when your flow is at its highest and change them at least every 6 to 8 hours. If you use a menstrual cup, you can go a little longer between empties, but you should still empty it every 4 to 8 hours, depending on your flow. If you have a very heavy flow and start to notice any leakage, it will take 4 hours. If you have a moderate flow and aren't feeling any leakage, it will take 8 hours. It is acceptable to wait outside of the bathroom if it is occupied, or you can try a different restroom because most larger airplanes have at least 2. On lengthy flights, it's a good idea to get up and move around a bit, so don't feel like you're bothering anyone. Sanitize your hands. It's crucial to wash your hands before putting them anywhere close to your genital region. In a crowded public setting like an airport, the bacteria on your hands from touching various objects may create unintended diseases. You can also use any hand sanitizer you brought with you. Whether or not you have anything on your hands, you should re-wash your hands after using the restroom. Alter the feminine product you use. If you find that it's time to update your product, make the necessary changes. Put the discarded tampon or pad in the garbage after wrapping it in lots of toilet paper. If you use a menstruation cup, flush it down the toilet after emptying it, then wash it in the sink before reusing it. Never flush tampons or pads into the toilet. You should never flush sanitary products, such as pads or tampons, whether you are flying or not. Simply wrap them in toilet paper and dispose of them in the provided trash can because they will probably clog the pipes. Leave the area tidy. If you accidentally make a mess or get blood on something, make sure to wipe it up thoroughly. Hopefully, there won't be much cleanup to do. You want other travelers to avoid entering and discovering a dirty restroom as a result of you. In addition, because of worries about blood-borne diseases, if another passenger discovers a small amount of blood on the toilet seat or any place else, there can be a large uproar about whether it is safe to use the restroom, and the flight attendants might be obliged to close that facility entirely. Take in a lot of water. Bring a reusable plastic water bottle with you, and fill it up after security, but before boarding the plane, at a water fountain, or in the restroom. As much as 20% less humidity can be found in aircraft, which will make you feel more dehydrated. This may need you to use the restroom more frequently, but in this instance, it is acceptable because you will need to get up frequently to check the condition of your feminine product. A full bottle of water should not be attempted to pass through security. If the bottle is full of liquid, safety standards forbid it and will force you to discard it. Part 3. Surviving the flight as comfortably as possible. Get distracted. Long flights can be extremely monotonous. You should have a lot of ways to amuse yourself. Bring a book you've been meaning to read, some headphones for music listening, or a tablet or laptop to watch movies on. It's fantastic that many long-haul flights also include in-flight entertainment, but you shouldn't rely on it because it might not always be the case. Have a backup strategy. Try to get some rest. Many people find it nearly impossible to sleep on an airline, but if you can, try to catch a few hours of rest. You can use this to pass the time and catch a little rest before you get to your destination. Set the seat back. Recline your seat a little if you are on a long-haul aircraft, such as one that will take you abroad or into the night. On lengthy flights, you'll discover that most passengers actually recline their seats, despite the fact that many people think this is disrespectful conduct. However, be mindful of others when doing so. Just lean back as far as is necessary to feel comfortable, and, before doing so, look behind to check who is seated there. Don't recline the seat and make it even more uncomfortable for a tall person who is already crammed into the seat behind you. Bring a travel pillow with you. Even if you don't intend to sleep on the journey, packing a travel cushion can help you feel a little more at ease. If you don't want to use it as a headrest, you may sit on it or even place it behind your back to add a little additional support. Bring snacks. On your flight, you'll probably be provided food, although it's usually not particularly good or healthy. Whole wheat bread, watermelon, oranges, and bananas are all said to be beneficial for persons experiencing menstruation problems. Put the watermelon, which has been cut up, in a plastic bag that can be sealed, or just throw an orange or a banana into your bag. These foods will make you feel better and are healthy as well. Don't forget to include a treat for yourself. Allowing yourself a treat helps you get through a trying time. In this situation, you might think about bringing along some of your preferred candy or chocolate to enjoy while you're in the air. Sip coffee or tea. Additionally said to be beneficial for menstruation ladies are tea and coffee. Fortunately, many airlines will provide these for free, so relax with a warm cup of tea or coffee. Employ a heat trap. Many products on the market promise to deliver heat to relax muscles. Although you apply these wraps to the sore spot like you would a typical heating pad, they don't need power or hot water to function. Even wraps made expressly to ease menstruation cramps are available. You can apply one of these wraps to your lower abdomen, or to any other area of your body suffering muscle pain from your period, before you head to the airport because they can typically be worn underneath your clothes. You might also utilize one when using the airline restroom. The heat helps the muscles relax a little bit because cramps are brought on by muscle spasms. Warnings. Make sure all of your goods are in your carry-on luggage if you are checking a bag into the cargo. Don't forget where you stored your supplies because you won't have access to your checked bag throughout the journey. Never use a pad or tampon that is open. What bacteria or other germs the product may have encountered are unknown. Safer to be safe than sorry. Long flights raise the risk of deep vein thrombosis, DVT. DVT happens when the leg's circulation slows down or clots from inactivity. It is a good idea to get up once an hour and take a stroll to reduce this risk. A pair of compression socks, which apply pressure to the lower thighs and aid in preventing clotting, might also be worth the money. Taking birth control tablets raises your risk of developing deep vein thrombosis.